I remember the first time I got contacted by a charitable organization representing one of my tenants who'd fallen behind on the rent. And I was surprised because I didn't know that this was even possible. So it was a local church working through St. Vincent de Paul Society, a great organization, worldwide organization. Um, and they said, we so-and-so is one of your tenants. They came to us for help. They're one of our parishioners. And we're willing to help them. They've been with us for decades. Their parents were with us. Same, lots of history there. And I said, I said, I'm surprised, but yes, I'd be glad to accept rent on their behalf from you. Can you please give me more information? So they told me that this was like a regular routine thing. And long term, as I built some pretty solid relationships with local charitable organizations, even some national and international ones, again, like St. Vincent de Paul Society, Catholic Charities, Jewish Community Center, the list goes on and on. You'd be surprised at the level of support and help that's out there for people if they just simply seek it out. So now, let's talk about some details here. We're business owners. You're a business owner. You run your own properties or you're managing for other people. You can, yes, develop some pretty solid relationships with these folks. Now, you have to also be a good custodian. You've got to be a good steward of whatever it is God gives you. So you don't just want to blindly accept money, okay? There may be other people that might need the money more, right? So what I learned to do is whenever someone falls behind, hopefully I've done a good job of screening them and interviewing and so forth in the beginning, right? To prevent any real, easy to prevent problems, okay? But sometimes people, let's face it, we're in the human relations business. People get married, they get divorced. People are born, they die. People get jobs and they lose jobs, okay? Just stuff happens. But here's what I figured out is the folks that are going to make it through are the ones that they're taking action. They got plans. They're telling you, you know what, Gary, I just want to just hang in there with me. I know I'm behind, but I've updated my resume last Friday. I put out 3 more resumes today. I've got 2 interviews tomorrow. I'm like, that person's going to make it, okay? But you call somebody up, or let's say that somebody avoids you or evades you. That's always a bad sign. They were evading you for a reason. Maybe they don't have the money, maybe they don't want to pay it. That's always first big sign of trouble. Let's say you do communicate with them and they're using words like hoping and wishing. Well, I hope I can get a hold of my rich uncle. He's got a lot of money. Maybe he can help me. Or I really wish I could win the lottery. They're not going to make it. Those are hoopers and wishers, and you just got to do the business thing. And you can either do one of 2 things. Either go through the formal eviction process, or you can offer them some money. That's right. You can say, look, you know what? I get it. I don't see any hope for anything to change here in the immediate future. I know that my rent's going to be here another couple of weeks, then you'll be 2 months behind. How about if I just pay you, you move out this Saturday, I'll pay for the truck and I'll pay you a few extra $100 to boot. In fact, I'll let you have your deposit back if you clean the place up, okay? It's a great way to get people out quickly without any legal trouble. It's legal to do it that way. You want to put it in writing, by the way. But in any case, back to the charities. You know what? Sometimes people do need a fish, and I get it. Believe me, I'm all about teaching someone how to fish. Don't just give them a fish. But sometimes people need a fish. They're not going to be able to learn how to fish if they're hungry, right? You got to keep them from starving, all right? So I'm okay with accepting a month's rent from a charitable organization for someone who's going to make it. I know they're going to make it. But if I sense that this person, I look back and I've determined, they've got a track record with this, it's just not going to work out, I'll tell the charitable organization, I'll say, look, I appreciate what you're doing. I'm sure they're a fine person, but they're just not going to make it. I can tell you, I've been doing this for 34 years. They don't have any plan, they're not taking action, and I want you to be able to help them, but they got to learn how to fish themselves. And sometimes people just need to face trouble head on and to learn and grow from it, okay? So in any case, charitable organizations, I want to wrap this up with this. 2 big examples. Number one is, years ago, way back 2004, in western Pennsylvania, the remnants of 2 hurricanes came through 2 weeks apart, and the second one was also combined with one of the largest storm fronts in the area that hit at the same, like the perfect storm scenario. Had a lot of flooding, a lot of people needed help. The charitable organizations came in and really helped a lot of tenants out and a lot of owners, okay? So an amazing time where people came together. It was win-win for everybody. Another thing I want to explain to you is I was able to participate in the sponsorship of families way back in the 90s, late 90s, coming over from Bosnia, We would help sponsor them, bring them into our rentals. St. Vincent de Paul Society would help them get started, interpret for the lease, maybe pay the first month's rent and security deposit, okay? Fast forward, in the late 2000s, we were sponsoring a lot of families from Burma and Nepal, right? In one building, we actually made about 75% occupied by the refugee families. They were coming through legally. They were doing the right thing the right way. They were just running from persecution. They were, they were Christians and they were being persecuted in parts of their country. So in any case, we would take them in, and it turns out they were some of the best tenants we ever had. In fact, that building outperformed itself, even though we gave these people a $25 discount on the rent, right, to come in. That building outperformed itself as far as collections. Like everybody paid the rent on time. They did it before we did that. Amazing. Just goes to show you, prosperity through service, man. Serve first and you shall prosper as a result. We didn't expect that in return. We just wanted to take part of what we had and use it as a form of ministry. And it worked great, using charitable organizations. Okay, I hope this helps you. Hope this sheds some light on the matter and opens up your eyes to maybe a brand new horizon for yourself. See you in the next video. Take care. God bless.